This is a book called Franklin Forgives. It's a story about forgiveness. And so in this book, it's a book and game hybrid. So I've got several of these. They're kind of a different resource. So we've got game cards at the back, and then on the very back cover is the game board. So Franklin is a very angry little guy. So something happened to him when he was young, and he's really holding on to that anger. And so he's miserable. He's just mad all the time. And anybody who tries to come near him, he drives them away by just lashing out. And so there's a sweet little girl named Hannah in his class that decides she's sad for him. She wants to reach out and see if she can help him. And so she's like, why are you so angry all the time? And he decides to be honest with her and talk to her about it. And he's like, people mistreated me, and and I'm mad about it. And so she starts talking to him about how whenever he holds on to the anger, he's just making himself angry, or making himself upset, and he's ruining his own life, and it's not hurting the person that harmed him. And he's like, well, they don't deserve my forgiveness. And she's like, yeah, so that doesn't mean that you can't forgive. So it's dealing with some of those misconceptions about forgiveness that, for one, it lets people off the hook. And that's not true. If somebody does something to you, if you forgive them, it doesn't mean that they're off the hook. It just means that you're not going to stay angry about it. And it doesn't mean that you have to have a relationship with them. And so she's talking about that here too, is you don't have to go back and be friends again. You don't have to go back to the way things used to be. It doesn't mean that you're justifying what they did or that you're letting them get away with it. You're just letting go of that anger so that you don't have to be miserable anymore. And so he decides to give it a try. And then all of a sudden hope comes in him, and he's like, wow, I can really be free from this thing. And so over a few weeks, he's kind of working out this forgiveness thing. And every time a memory comes back that is making him feel angry about how he had been mistreated, then he's like, you know what, I'm going to choose to forgive. And then he finds himself being free, and he's able to smile and laugh. And then he realizes that the other kids really do want to be around him, and he enjoys playing and being with them at that point because he's no longer scary. He's not holding on to all that anger anymore. And so this game, the way that the game works on this one is you've got 4 different card backs. And so like you've got cards about anger, cards about forgiveness, cards about friendship, and then how to control your thoughts. So here's the game board. Give you a close up here. And so what you'll do is you start at the bottom on this one and work your way up to the top. And it's just working through forgiveness, asking different questions about how to process situations that have made you angry, what forgiveness looks like, how to let go of it. Questions will address some of those misconceptions about forgiveness, and kind of the end goal of just being free from bitterness, free from just that heaviness of anger that you carry around, and also being able to have healthy relationships. Because if you hold on to anger and you don't let go of it, then it's like every relationship ends up being a train wreck because you can't move on in the relationship after something goes wrong. And every relationship is going to have a problem eventually. So you got to learn how to work through those conflicts. So anyway, it's a simple little book, and it's especially good for kiddos that have anger issues, but also, any kind of trauma. There's a lot of kids that have trauma where they have unforgiveness, but it's not being displayed as anger. So, it can come in handy with anybody that has dealt with somebody mistreating them in any kind of way. So it's a good little combo. It's got the book and the game. So it's all in one package together.